All right, guys, so today we're going to draw this shape here, which is number 38, and it has arcs as well as holes. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get into Inventor, and we're going to click New, Standard IPT, and Create. Okay, if you get the weird dialog box that doesn't matter about anything. Come over here to your home, look at your isometric view. Looking at this drawing, it makes the most sense to put it on front view. So we're going to go Origin, X, Y, and we're going to click Start 2D Sketch. So to start this guy, I'm going to use a rectangle, even though it has arcs, because the rectangle is going to guide me into where I put the circle to trim away. So let's dimension it to the full size here. And it tells me that the radius of this arc is 1.25. The space between the center of the arcs is 1.5. And then the arc over here we can assume is the same, is 1.25 as well. So I need to add up 1.25 plus 1.5 plus 1.25. But the good news is Inventor will do the math for me. So I'm going to click on dimension. I'm going to click on this line, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to type in 1.25 plus 1.5 plus 1.25. All right, and I'm going to let Inventor do the math, and I'm going to put it back on the screen. And oh, that turned out to be 4 inches. Now, to get the height here, what I need to do is I need to remember the radius is the measurement from the center to the edge. And I know the circle doesn't have edge, and your geometry teacher would be upset if I said that. But from the center of the circle to the top of the arc is 1.5. So you have to double that because you're going across the whole thing. You need the diameter to get the height of this piece. So once again, Inventor will do the math for you. Click on the line, click on the number, put in 1.25. We're going to use Shift 8 to get that little star asterisk thing, which means multiply to computers. And we're going to type in 2. So 1.25, Shift 8, 2, and it's 2.5. Okay. So now I have the parameters for where this thing is going to fit. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the circle command. And I'm going to do circle center point. And I'm going to just draw a circle somewhere. Okay. Now I know that the diameter of my circle is 2.5, right? So I'm going to click on dimension. I'm going to click on the circle, and I'm going to put in 2.5. And notice it goes way out of the way. It's, it's not where it needs to be. But I know that from this line to the center of the circle is going to be 1.25 because that's the radius. So I'm going to click the line, and I'm going to click the center of the circle. Okay? And I'm going to type in 1.25. And see how it kicks it over a little bit? Now, I know that from the bottom of this thing to the center of the circle is also going to be 1.25 because the radius doesn't change. It can't change. If it changes, you have an ellipse and not a circle. So I'm going to click the bottom line, and I'm going to click the center of the circle, and I'm going to make that 1.25 as well. And now you see my circle fits perfectly inside this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the second circle, and I'm going to go circle, and I'm going to put it somewhere over here. Okay, don't let it line up with the other one because it might put on a weird constraint that you don't need, because sometimes Inventor wants to think for you and we don't want it to think for you. So I'm going to go dimension. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did over there. I know the diameter of the circle is 2.5. I know that from the right-hand line to the center of the circle is 1.25. And I know from the bottom, click the line, to the center point of the circle, click the dot, is 1.25 as well. And now I have like these circles that kind of are all over each other. So now we have these two circles that are kind of like on top of each other, and we have this rectangle that's containing them. Now it's time to use our trim command. So I'm going to click on trim, and I'm going to start by trimming away these parts of these circles inside, because I know I don't need those, and I don't need these guys here. Right? Same thing here, because it's flat on the top and the bottom, right? So now I've got like the whole pill looking like shape, for lack of a better term, and we're going to get rid of the corners as well. So I'm trimming this away, and it may not let you trim if there's a dimension attached. I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. Okay. So now I've got as much trimmed away as I possibly can. I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard, and I'm going to click on this vertical line here, and I'm just going to press delete. And I'm going to do the same thing with this horizontal line here at the bottom. I'm going to press delete. And I'm going to do the same right here on the side, and I'm going to press delete. Now I have an opening at the bottom of my drawing, so I'm going to take line, and I'm going to find the end point by see how my cursor turns green. I'm going to find the end point, and I'm just going to drag it across to where it's green over there. And you should get this little circle with a line attached to it, showing the constraint there. That's called a tangent constraint. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to hit finish sketch, and I'm going to zoom out again, and I'm going to extrude. And it says the depth of this thing is 1.5. Okay, so it's a pretty thick piece there. Now, I'm going to use the front view when I do holes this time, because we're not going to use linear hole, we're going to use concentric hole. Because if you look at your drawing, your little circle shares a center with your big arc. So they're what we call concentric, which means they share the center. So I'm going to go to hole, and I'm going to change up here where it says placement to concentric. And I'm going to click the red arrow for plane, and I'm just going to click on my surface. And now I need to put in the diameter of this thing. And the diameter of the little hole is 0.875, which is 7/8 if you wanted to know. And now, see, I have another red arrow, and it's concentric reference. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click my arc, and it's going to put it right in the same center that arc shares, because that's how it's made. So I'm going to hit apply, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to click plane, and it should still be on concentric for placement, but you might want to double check it. Click where you want, kind of where you want the circle to be. Click the red arrow next to concentric reference, and then click the arc. And notice it scoots it right where you want it and tell it apply. And then you can close that dialog box. And if you look at it, there is your wonderful arc created with holes. You can look at it from different angles. So I'm going to go home, and I'm going to put a color on it. You guys may see one of my cats in a minute, because he is deciding at this instant to be walking up here on the table, which he is not allowed to be. Okay, and we'll put sky blue on it this time. Okay, so we're going to file, save as, and this is Inventor 38. Okay, now we're going to do our IDW. We're going to click PLTWA and create. Project name is practice. Your name goes here, date. File name is Inventor 38, and let's click OK. Okay, so we're going to do base, and we're going to do the top view, the side view, and the isometric. I'm going to see how it looks with a scale of 0.75. Yeah, it's going to be fine. So use 0.75, tell it OK. And let's spread these guys out by clicking on the red line, the dotted red line, so they're not on top of each other. And now we need to do center lines on these guys. And guys, when things are concentric, you use the center line on the bigger circle. Okay, so we're going to go annotate. We're going to use our little plus sign here, our center mark. And I'm going to click on the arc. And I'm going to click on the arc over here. Okay, and then I need my center line bisectors for my holes. So I'm going to click center line bisector. I'm going to click this line, and this line, and then this line, and this line. And then because the holes are on top of each other, you only have to do it once in the side view. Okay, press escape on your keyboard, come up to your isometric, double click, pick your shaded view, tell it okay. And now we're going to save it. File, save as, let it save as Inventor 38. And now you guys are done with that one. Okay, so you're doing 3 drawings for me this week. You can, as long as I get them by Friday, you're good to go. So if you want to do them all on Monday or spread them out, it's totally up to you. See you guys next week.